Today is 30th of December, so it's kind of the first day I'm looking to trade. So I chose around 4 pairs out of all these pairs right here, which are 12 pairs. So out of 12 pairs, we have 4 potential pairs for today. On Euro, what I'm looking at is that we have a lot of sell side stacked, okay? We have a lot of sell side stacked. We had here, sell side, here, sell side, here, sell side. So we do have a lot of sell side. Now, when are we going to target the sell side? Where would be the best area for us to look for sells? The first option could have been this gap, but obviously kind of got violated. And second option is after taking this high. It's either we're gonna react after taking this high or after coming a bit deeper around this consolidation area. So I'm actually gonna mark this rejection block right here because it looks interesting. So I'm obviously still bearish. There's no reason for me to be bullish, especially since we're so close to this liquidity level. I was thinking about is looking to sell straight off this liquidity here. It's a bit risky, so we should wait for price to come around this consolidation here. We'll see how price reacts. We can react off this high, start breaking structure, then we'll look to trade off and target the sell side, or we can come a bit higher. So here we want to trade only of this liquidity level and price doesn't reach this area. We need to see some more confirmation, like a bonus swing scenario where you get an initial displacement, then you get another market structure shift, and then you look to enter. If price comes here, comes above, we can just look straight for a gap and just enter without any extra confirmations. We're kind of framing the idea right. We know that we want to be bearish today, okay? That's clear. We want to be bearish because we have a lot of stack sell side and we should reach towards that sell side. Now that we have a drawn liquidity and we have a bias, the next question is where does price have a big chance of going lower, of reacting lower and start going to the sell side? So for me, we drew a fib on the range, on our current range, which is this big one, and we see the equilibrium level is here. So this is the highest quality area. So now I frame that if price reacts off this high, we will need extra confirmation to enter. If price comes in our area here, we can look for a bit more aggressive entries. This is really important because this is the approach I've been talking about. You need to have some higher time frame context before your trades. You need to have some consistency rules. In my opinion, the consistency rule is always getting involved in the best POI, which is a 4-hour or a 1-hour time frame POI. For me, in this case, this POI is valid. We start with the 4-hour. That's basically, we always start with the 4-hour. We need to establish a bias and the area where we look to get involved in. So we will pay very close attention here because I have a really interesting way of defining bias, which is actually has a really high win rate. So it determines bias correctly a lot of times. So what we do to actually determine bias here on the 4-hour is we look at gaps, all right? We see how gaps are respected and how gaps are disrespected. Here we can confirm that this gap was respected and we formed a gap here. So we were still bearish, okay? We were bearish, we respected this gap, but look closely what happened. We respected this gap, then we mitigated a bullish gap here, respected it and start breaking higher. So it's a bit confusing. It's a bit of a harder place to read price action, but what we actually care about is FVG invalidation. When a 4-hour FVG gets disrespected, that means a trend switch. If FVGs show respect right here, like this bearish FVG shows that it was respected. Since we reacted, we were bearish. Here we were still bearish. Here we were still bearish. Here we switched. Okay, why did we switch? Because if you pay close attention, we had this bearish FVG that got closed above, which signals a switch in trend and signals that we're bullish. As for right now, because we invalidated this bearish FVG right here and because we respected this bullish one, I'm bullish until this high gets taken. And you know, I said extra confirmation here. We got a really good break here, really good break after we took that liquidity level. This is a fully valid break. We broke the lows, we just marked, we broke underneath this VG. We could have entered here, but I said wait for more confirmation, and this would have been the trade. It's quite unlucky because they just went to pick up my mom And I knew in the back of my head the setup is gonna happen before I come back to the charts. And this would have been a really good trade because this was New York Open. So let's say we would have waited for a bit more confirmation for New York Open, and New York Open just left from an AVG, broke structure again. Then we would have looked to enter around this inverse right here. Stop loss probably around here because it's safe. Even if it's 30 December, if a setup is good, it doesn't fucking matter. This for me is an A plus setup. Now you kind of have the proof of my framing, and you have proof that the trades I frame most of the time actually work, because I think this is gonna be the title of the video. It's gonna be how to actually frame trades. You saw my thought process behind this trade. Now what I would do here is probably take some partials around 3R around either this level, because it's already rated, or this low. I'm gonna go break even on the trade, and then I'm gonna let price run towards final TP, which is at 3.5. We're fucking melting, Jesus Christ. It's really annoying, but it's okay. This year there's gonna be a lot of setups like this. It's alright, bro. Sometimes shit happens, right? But this would have been insane, bro. And he fully respected my plan. Everything was perfect about it except the fact that we didn't reach here. We actually ended up entering in GU. I'm gonna explain really shortly why. We came and tapped that 0.5 of the FVG, then just made a gap. That's pretty much it. We just made a gap. Why I'm confident enough in entering of a gap like this is because of a 4-hour POI. So because of the 4-hour POI, we don't necessarily need a really good market structure shift or entry pattern. We should be fine regardless, because we are in a 4-hour POI and we swept. We should technically react, but the thing is, Euro's really bearish, so it usually kind of drags G with it, but it depends. I'm down taking my chances. It's a bit of a different model, but all that matters for us is our entry here. We did get a gap, that's all we need. Then we look to entry, basically. It's that simple. So it was a revenge trade, clearly a revenge trade. Yeah, we should have waited for this FVG to close, but I just entered. Why? Because I was angry. I was angry at Euro because I missed this, and I kind of missed it based on the things outside my control. So I was hungry to trade, and we got fucking obliterated. Obviously, we should have waited for a bit more confirmation, because we can't really trade only off gaps, bro. We can't really trade only off gaps, because see what happened. We need to always have some type of inversion, or we need to have some type of market structure shift. So in this case, what I would have wanted to see, if I wasn't clouded by emotions and clouded by my anger of missing this Euro trade, I would have waited for this gap to get closed above, then entry. But yeah, I was emotional. Shit happens. That's what happens when you are emotional. Yeah, I guess that's fine. We're gonna put it around 2% on the account, which is not great. I admit that I'm not happy about it, but I need to take my focus off. Just today I talked about discipline, and I talked that discipline in trading is not letting emotions dictate your decisions. In this case, emotions definitely dictated my decisions. I entered the trade because I was angry and I didn't wait for proper confirmation. Missing a trade can definitely impact your emotions, and it did a lot in the past. So we need to be really careful how we trade. After we miss a trade like this, I think it's just better off to take the day off. This was a really bad trade. The frame of the text wasn't bad. What was bad is, first of all, we did take the buy sell liquidity, so this is a pretty bearish sign. We did take all this buy sell liquidity, so this would be a warning sign, first of all. Second, the second mistake was entering without proper confirmation. I didn't wait for proper confirmation because of my emotions of wanting to be in a trade because I missed Euro, but yeah, that's fine. I hope you guys learned something with this loss. I relearned something. I learned this lesson a lot of times, but sometimes in trading you need to relearn some lessons to actually stick to your head. And what also happened, I think, is the fact that I didn't trade for a while. My this emotion and discipline kind of faded. This is what usually happens when you take a break from trading, so I'm not going to be too harsh on myself. Sad that we missed this, but it's whatever. Sad that missing this actually pushed us into a bad trade, but be really careful after you miss a good trade, because normally if I would have missed this trade, I don't think I would have entered this, because I wouldn't be impatient, I wouldn't be angry, and I would have waited for this gap closure, and then we would have been in this losing trade because we didn't close above. So be really careful after you either take a loss, take a win, or get missed on a trade. These are the things that can impact. Okay, so make sure you take care of yourselves. Make sure you make your preparations for next year. I'm sure this is gonna be a big year for you too, so make sure you make the most out of it. Time is ticking, always. Time is ticking. We don't have much time on our hands. You never know how much time you have on your hands. So always prioritize your goals. Always prioritize what brings you fulfillment, and ignore all of the rest, all of the bullshit, all of those things. Just focus on yourself, bro, and just grind out. That's what we're gonna do this year, and we're gonna go big. I'm gonna get really big, especially on YouTube. Especially as a trader, especially as everything. In 2 years from now, I'm gonna be on the podcasts with words of wisdom and how do you call that guy? Ashar Habibi. I don't know. How the fuck is that guy? Usman Habibi.